what's up YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a My 2 Cent video, a Nintendo one to be exact though, and so today I'm going to be talking about 5 different things, 5 interesting stories that came out this week for the Nintendo Switch though. So we'll start with the first one, part 1, and that is the fact that this week though, Reggie Fils-Aimé made an appearance on the Late Show with Jimmy Fallon though, and we got a chance to see not only Super Mario Run, but we finally got to see the actual Switch for audiences and everybody to see as well. Plus, you know, Shigeru Miyamoto was there, and I think Nintendo Treehouse Bill Trent, if I'm saying his name correctly, pardon me if I'm not though. So we finally got a chance to see Breath of the Wild though on the Late Show with Jimmy Fallon, and I have to say, I only saw the footage based on what was shown on YouTube though, and I have to say it does look impressive. It definitely does look like, it definitely looks like it is an improvement over what basically is going to be the Wii U version though. So, but since I don't have a Switch, or since that's not even out yet, or haven't tried the Wii U version, it's too early to make comparisons though, but it does look nice though. And the fact that the game was able to switch, no pun intended, that's the name, from the screen onto, you know, the handheld part was really neat though. Definitely something I want to keep, definitely something I want to try and see for myself when the Switch finally comes out. And of course, as well, they also showed off Super Mario Run that Jimmy Fallon tried out, and I have to say, I am a little impressed with Super Mario Run, though. In fact, recently, today, when I had to go get my phone checked, though, at the Apple Store, they had demos of it, and I tried it out myself, though, while my phone was getting fixed and everything. And I have to say, it's interesting. The Super Mario Run, though. It kind of takes some getting used to, because I'm so used to playing Mario, you know, the Mario games with a controller and all. But eventually, once I was able to get around it, figure it out though, everything clicks though. It is a speed run, however, so you have to sort of time your jumps though. Tap screen, Mario does a short jump, hold it, and he does a longer jump though. And it is an interesting game. Visually, it looks nice though, even for a mobile game though. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out for when it comes out. I think next week. I think that it's going to come out December 15th though. I think sometime next year for the Android though. But I have to say, my thoughts on the Super Mario Run game on the mobile devices, I have to say it was actually not that bad. It was good though. As for the Switch appearing on the Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, I think that's a good move that Nintendo did. I think that it really helps gets people more interested in it right now. I mean, the trailer, I think they did a great job. You know, when they first launched the trailer back in October, I think they did a really good job showing off what the idea behind the Nintendo Switch is. I think that's something they did right that they couldn't do with the Wii U though. I think I mentioned that in my past videos though. And I think showing it off on the Late Show with Jimmy Fallon was a smart move, exactly though. And I think it will hopefully get more audiences, more people who see it now figuring, you know, I want to get one though. I want to get a Nintendo Switch though. Whether that happens or not remains to be seen. We'll have to wait, especially on January 12th and I think January 13th possibly, to get hopefully final details of what we need to know about the Nintendo Switch and everything. But overall, Super Mario Run, fun mobile game, I will say. It's worth a fun mobile game. I want to try it out myself when it comes out next week though, and I'm glad that they showed off the Switch on the Late Show with Jimmy Fallon though. So good for them that they did that though. All right, and if you missed the video by any chance, I'm sure it's on. I'm sure you could look it up and search it though. But in case you do miss it, I'll have a link in the description and you can see it yourself though. All right. So we're gonna take a little break. When we come back, I'm gonna be going to the second part of our video, and I'm going to be talking about a story that recently popped up. It's about the battery life on the Switch. So we'll take a little break and we will be right back. back with part 2 of our video, though, on sort of this Nintendo My 2 Cent video. And the next part of this video I want to talk about is a recent rumor / leak that has come out regarding the battery life for the Nintendo Switch. Now, keep in mind, this is just, right now, this is basically a rumor at this point. We won't know 100% for sure until hopefully January 12th or January 13th, one of those days, about how much battery life is going to be into the Nintendo Switch when you take it on the go. All right, so several leaks have started to come out though about it, so I'll share this to you. Now, this article also has a link to a video by a YouTuber by the name of Nate Drake, though, that claimed that he has inside information about it, though, okay, regarding the Switch's battery life. Okay, so according to the article in the video, he supposedly is confirming that the company is aiming to increase the battery life, though, on the Switch to about 5 to 8 hours from the older development kit, which came with a 3-hour battery life, though. Speaking about development kits, a bit of a side note, however, it seems that the final version is currently being shipped with no notable change in specs from the old developed kits sent a few months back, though. All right. Regarding the battery life on the Nintendo Switch, however, I have to say, assuming this rumor is true, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, would I have preferred a longer battery life? It would have been, but 5 to 8 hours seem to be okay with me, though. I mean, I have had my 3DS, I've had the settings set up, though, and I've able to get enough battery life on that for a while, though. So even with 5 to 8 hours, it's not a bad idea. However, though, that said, it would be interesting to see if there are going to be options available to increase the battery life for the Nintendo Switch, at least on the handheld part. Like, are there going to be third-party battery life attachments that we attach onto the system, or are we going to get something like what they did with the Wii U gamepad battery, though, where you can order it from Nintendo, and if you have sort of like electronic screwdrivers, like, let's get some dust here, like I do, this one I got from Radio Shack, though, where you can open up the back of the gamepad and insert the new battery that replaces the old battery to extend the battery life. So it'll be interesting to see if they're going to be able to, if we'll be able to get new battery life to increase it from the 5 to 8 hours that the battery life supposedly will have into the Nintendo Switch. But overall, assuming this rumor is true, and again, this is a big if, though if it's whether this is true or not, and again, I have a link in the description. You can read the article yourself. That also has the video of this person talking about the battery life on the Nintendo Switch. But if this is true, not bad. I mean, it would have been nice if it was possible to aim for maybe 10 hours of battery life, but some of that might be based on the settings on the Switch when you take it on the handheld part. So, but overall, not bad though. Alright, so we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, I'm going to be talking about part 3 of our video, where I'll be talking about the dock and what that might do for the Switch, based on an article I've read about. So, we'll take a little break, and we will be right back. We are back with part 3 of our My 2 Cent video, my Nintendo 2 Cent video today. And for this part, though, we're going to be talking about a new, supposedly, rumor from Lauren Dale, who's known to leak a lot of stuff lately about the Nintendo Switch that's been coming out, though. So basically, for this one, though, it's going to be referring to the dock. I'm sure you guys are aware, if you've seen the trailer for the Switch or seen it on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, you know the Switch goes into the dock station, and that the dock might do something to the Nintendo Switch when the system is in the dock, though. So here's basically what we have now. this is basically what the information that's been leaking out, though. Okay, and again, this is from Let's Play Video Games, though. I'll have a link in the description. You can see that, read it yourself, though. Supposedly that the dock, supposedly for the Nintendo Switch, does increase the performance of the handheld, but not due to any additional process in the dock. When the system is connected to the dock by a USB-C, the system's components will run at a high clock speed to facilitate 1080p resolution on the TV. Both the video and the power will be transferred over a USB-C when docked. Plugging the system in the dock will activate a small additional fan to help with cooling when running at a higher clock speed. This fan is in the rear of the dock, and there is a gap a gap in the back of the dock to allow system's inbuilt fan to vent out when docked, though. The dock is incredibly lightweight, and while it does play a part in increasing the system's performance on the TV, it's designed to be cheap to produce. The intention is that sometime after launch, additional docks will be sold to place in different rooms if you have multiple TVs, though. Now, again, assuming this is true, though, this is kind of interesting, though, that the fact that when it's plugged in, though, the system will show full 1080p, though, if that's assuming that this rumor is true, however, though. Hopefully we'll hit 60 frames per second. That would be nice if it is. I'm hoping that's the case, however, though. And I wouldn't be surprised if the handheld part is by any chance, 720p, although there are some rumors coming around that that's 1080p. I'm believing it's most likely going to be 720p. I could be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see, though. But the interesting part about this is the part that mentions that of being able that they will sell additional docks that you can use to put next to your TV if you have multiple TVs in your room. Personally, I think that's not a bad idea. And the thing is that if you say, if you have somebody coming over and you need to use the TV for whatever reason, whether it's, kids are watching a kid show or a certain sporting event going on that you're not really a big fan of, or for any other reason, though, any other reason in particular, this might not be a bad idea, and that you could take the Switch up to your room or into another room that has a dock, plug it in, and play your game over there. So in a sense, though, it kind of expands, or at least the way I'm looking at it, though, it kind of expands upon the idea of that whole off TV mode that the gamepad had for the Wii U, though. Good idea, but there were some limitations. I think you couldn't really leave the room with the gamepad or anything like that, though. But I think, to me, personally, I think this is not a bad idea, and it could, like I said, expand the idea of what the Wii U started with the whole off TV mode, though. So, if assuming this is all accurate, again, I'm down with it. I mean, I'm down with the idea of it being that you could buy additional docks and you could put them in separate rooms and, bring the system up there and play it there. So that certainly is not a bad idea, though, okay? How much the docks will cost remains to be seen. Again, hopefully we'll know soon, but overall, not a bad idea at all. I'm open to the idea that they're going to produce more docks and that you can buy and put in other rooms. And it will be interesting to see if the rumors about the dock producing 1080p once the system is put on it are true. Fingers crossed, hopefully that is true, though, after all. Alright, we're going to take a little break again, another break, though, and when we come back, I'm going to be talking about a recent story going around that Dark Souls 3 could be coming to the Switch. Not 100% sure, but could be coming, though. So, we'll take a little break, and we will be right back. And we are back with part 4 of our video for our Nintendo My True Set video, though. And for this one, we're going to be talking about a certain game that could be coming to the Nintendo Switch, and the possibility of its trilogy coming too. Again, as I said before, and I know I'm kind of being the dead horse saying this, but I'll say it again, this is currently just a rumor right now, so we'll have to wait and see, though. According to the rumor, and again, as always, link in the description, you can read it yourself though, supposedly the developers from Soft supposedly has Dark Souls 3 running on the Nintendo Switch, and they are pleased with the performance of it, at least on the Switch though. Although they haven't committed to releasing it yet, discussions at the company are discussing the financial viability of releasing the main 3 Dark Souls title on the Switch with all the DLCs on it though. And supposedly development on the Switch part has been underway for several months by a small team, and they're waiting to see, depending on how well the Switch does, see the sales data before committing to producing a port. The plan would be for the Switch to re-release of Dark Souls 3, if greenlight, to release it on the same day the PS4, Xbox One, and PC version receives all of their DLC. So the fact that the game is running, that the reports, if true, of Dark Souls 3 running smoothly on the Nintendo Switch certainly puts a smile on my face though. As for whether or not I am happy about this, yes and no. Now, hear me out for a second. Let me explain what I mean by that, okay? Yes, I think it's good that if the rumors are true that Dark Souls 3 is running smoothly though on the Switch, assuming these rumors are correct though, and I would be down with the idea of all 3 Dark Souls games with all the DLCs releasing on the Nintendo Switch though. The idea that you could bring these games on the go with you definitely is a good thing. So I'm definitely down with it though. However, I'm also torn with the fact that comments a couple of years ago, there were questions asked about whether Dark Souls will make an appearance on the Wii U. Now, again, it is the developer's decision whether or not they want to port that game to that system or not. But in my opinion, they gave pretty much a very disrespectful answer by kind of laughing at the whole idea. Same with Epic Games when asked about the Unreal Engine 4 coming to the Wii U though, okay? I mean, I would prefer a regular answer rather than that disrespectful kind of an answer. And it also brings me to one of my problems with third-party games on the Switch. Not that I am against them bringing them, I'm just wondering if Nintendo fans will treat developers with open arms after a lot of Wii U owners and Nintendo fans felt burned by a lot of third-party developers from either abandoning the system or releasing their games, or basically releasing an incomplete version of the game, basically saying, here's our version of the game. We did sort of a half-assed job with it. Now, if you excuse me, we're going to focus on the Xbox One and PS4 version instead. So, on one hand, I'm glad that they're bringing it to glad that they're taking the consideration to bring it to the Switch. I hope they do bring it though. I really would like it though. But I cannot turn the other cheek over the fact that they gave a disrespectful answer when asked about it, if it would come to the Wii U or not, okay? I think they could have given a better answer to that rather than just give that stupid laugh of when someone asked that. Same with Epic Games with the Unreal 4 engine though, okay? I think that they could have handled that better though. But overall, I would be open to the idea of the Dark Souls trilogy coming to the Nintendo Switch, and the whole idea of playing it on the go is definitely a nice addition, and especially if you're playing on your playing it while you're on the airplane though. Just make sure, for those who've never played Dark Souls games, just to make sure, if they do bring to the Switch, be warned, you will die a lot in that game. So don't take your frustration out of the Joy-Con controllers and accidentally break it if you die too many times, okay? So for those who, and again, this is for those who've never played a Dark Souls game or Sony's Bloodborne game, you will die a lot. You will literally die a lot. Alright, but overall, I'm open to the idea of the series coming to Nintendo Switch and the idea of all the DLC, sort of a Game of the Year editions. I am open to the idea. I have some reservations about it because of third parties' histories with the Wii U, but I'm not against the idea of it coming to the Switch though. Okay, so we'll take a little break on that one, and when we come back, we'll come to our fifth and final story though, and this one's regarding the possibility of Gamecube games coming to the Nintendo Switch. So we'll take a little break, and we'll be right back. Okay, and we are back with the last part of our video, part 5. And today we're talking about the last rumor that has recently come out regarding the Nintendo Switch. And this one is very interesting to me. And that the rumor has gone around that the Nintendo Switch will have Gamecube Virtual Console support. Now this article, which again will be in the description, excuse me, comes from Eurogamer.net. And supposedly the article points out that GameCube support is already tested and working, we understand, and 3 Nintendo games are prepared for the Nintendo Switch. Those are Super Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, and Super Smash Bros. Melee. While the number of platforms to be offered on the Switch Virtual Console has yet to be nailed down, we heard that there should be an upgrade program similar to that available on the Wii U, where early purchases of Virtual Console NES games can be upgraded for a small fee rather than being bought again at a full price. It's also been reported that the Switch Virtual Console is being engineered by Nintendo's Europe Research and Development, codenamed NERD. Odd name, but alright. The studio behind the recent NES Mini Micro Console, which sold out in many stores ahead of Christmas, though. Up next, supposedly, is a version of the GameCube Animal Crossing that's currently being tested, though. Also, it points out that Digital Foundry actually ran a test to see how GameCube Dolphin emulators would run on a NVIDIA Tegra X1 model mobile technology, the chipset which powers the Switch. The results were promising and suggest Switch should be able to run each game at least as well as its original state. How much better, of course, will depend on the Switch's final hardware, though. I have to say, though, my thoughts on the idea of the GameCube game coming to the Switch, though, is certainly good, though. I don't know if every the rumors are true, I don't know how much of every game is going to be, every GameCube game is going to be on the Switch. Like, for example, I know some will disagree with me on that, but I really don't think it's necessary to bring like a game like Resident Evil 4 onto the Nintendo Switch. Again, I got nothing against that game. It's one of my favorite Resident Evil game of all time, and in terms of my favorite video games of all time, I would rank it number 4. No pun intended, but since that game has since there's been so many versions of that game, I just feel like it's unnecessary to bring the GameCube version over, though. As far as the idea of bringing these games over, I'm not against the idea. I mean, I certainly am not. I mean, I enjoyed the virtual consoles, though, when they originally came out for the Wii. Though recently they've now put in NES and Super NES games, at least the Super NES on the new Nintendo 3DS, though. I'm not 100% sure if people are down with the idea that they have to pay a small fee to buy a game they already buyed, from the previous generation of consoles, though. But we'll see how that plays out. It'll be interesting to see how much they charge for GameCube games on the Switch, though. The idea of bringing some of these games on the go certainly is interesting, though. I'm not sure about some games, though. Like I mentioned, Resident Evil 4. Like, I don't know about the idea of Wind Waker or Twilight Princess coming to, releasing the GameCube version when we already had the HD version on the Wii U. You could just port those two onto the Switch. Just port the HD version, not the GameCube version, though. But if that's true, if GameCube games are coming to the Nintendo Switch, there are certainly several of them I could think that I would love to see come to the Nintendo Switch, though. Wario World, I would like to see that happen. Beautiful Joe 1 and 2, enjoyed that game. I would like to see that one come, though. Killer 7, though, the very first Suda 51 game that I played, I would love to see that come as well to the Switch too. Let's see, what else? What would be good? Eternal Darkness, Sanity That game though, that game, a lot of people have been asking for that game to come over though. So I certainly think that people would love to see that one, because I mean, we've heard so many trademarks being filed for it though. And I think a lot of people have been demanding that game again and again. So we'll have to see if it comes over though. Hopefully that's the case. Another one though, let's see if I can look it up. X and O. I think there was a game. Oh, okay, here it is. Baten Kaitos, Kaitos. Apologize if I don't say the name correctly though. I'll write the name in the description though. They created two games. There was both a sequel though. The game has received a cult following though, and I think a game like that would have been nice to see. Would be nice to see on the Nintendo Switch, as if one of those games were to come over though. There's also, the two of those games though. So Baten Kaitos, again, I'll write the name as well. Other games I would like to see though, let's see that. Skies of Arcadia Legends though. I would be happy if they brought that GameCube version over on the Switch too. It's made by the same people who would make the PS3 and the PS4 remake of one of my favorite games on I think the 2008 remake of Valkyrie Chronicles though. And of course Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. And finally a first-person shooter that Nintendo and N-Space developed that was rough around the edges, but it did have potential, and that is Geist, if I'm saying that correctly though. I would love to see that ported over to the Switch though. So overall, I have to say I am certainly not against the idea of GameCube games coming to the Nintendo Switch though. I think it would be kind of interesting though. I don't know how many games will show up for it though, but I am open to that. All right. Anyway, this concludes my 2-cent video, or should I say my Nintendo 2-cent video. And again, these are my opinion. But what are yours? What are your thoughts about the Switch making an appearance on The Late Show with Jimmy Fallon? You think that was a good strategy for the Nintendo? Do you think it was a bad strategy though? What about Super Mario Run? Are you looking forward to it, or you're not looking forward to it? The battery life on the Switch though. Are you okay with the possibility that the battery life could be 5 to 8 hours, or do you think it should have been more than the rumors have been going around them about? What about the dock though? You okay with the idea that the only thing the dock does is display 1080p when the Switch system is docked into it though? And are you open to the idea of possibly buying multiple docks if you have like multiple TVs into your room? Dark Souls 3 possible running on the Switch though. You okay with the idea of Dark Souls 3 running on the Switch? Will you look forward to buying it and possibly the trilogy? Or do you feel like you were burned by third-party developers on the Wii U and you don't trust buying from them though? And finally, GameCube games on the Switch. Are you for it? Are you against it? Are there certain games you would like to see from the GameCube era make it onto the Switch? Do you agree with my opinions? Do you disagree? As always, sound off on the comments below. Let me know what you think. I hope you hit the like button though. I really appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel though. Anyway, this concludes the Nintendo My 2 Cent video. It's evening in Southern California, so I'll be getting ready for bed soon. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that will be soon. Until then, from Southern California, wish you guys a good evening and also a happy holidays as well. Bye!